Good afternoon, everyone. Kamala Harris, your vice president, has just released her economic agenda, is what she called it. And I don't know if you all had a chance to look at it and see, but let me just put the agenda up for you all. Let's just show it to you. Okay, so here's her economic agenda. Let's go over what it says. And I mean, some of this is really amazing. She's proposing to do a federal ban on price gouging of groceries. Price gouging. I'm not necessarily sure I understand what price gouging means. Um, if that could be defined in the business world in aspects, but how do you do that? First of all, the president's office does not have the authority to go to the private business owner and tell them exactly what they're going to charge for a can of baby formula. They don't have that power, that authority. Yes, they can try to do it through restrictions. Yes, they can do it by taxation and things of that nature. But the odds that you will be able to reproduce that throughout the whole entire 50 states, throughout every single business owner or every single small business owner is next to impossible to even propose to the American people to believe that can be done. Let's go on. She says she's going to give up to $25,000 in down payment assistance for some, keyword, it says some first-time home buyers. But let's just break it down. If you put $25,000 in an individual's hand, whether it's credit or physical cash, that gives them an advantage. Number one, that they have more income, more tangible money to spend and put it back into the market. So, inflation works a little bit like this. The more money that's flooded into the market, the more things and items that people purchase, the more purchases that are made, the more the economy moves around. This means, for example, you give me $25,000 toward my down payment. Let's say, for example, I have $25,000 extra now that didn't come out of my pocket for my down payment. I then in turn take that 25,000 and I go buy furniture and appliances and things of that nature for my new house, which in turn the store owner sees that I'm making these purchases, and then they increase the price because people are buying more refrigerators now, or they're buying more stoves, or they're buying, more cabinets, whatever it may be. In essence, this creates inflation because it moves the economy. And I mean, let's just go on the next level of this. Sellers are not naive. They know that if the government is giving you 25 extra, dollars, 25,000 extra dollars, that they in turn can increase and raise their asking price of their properties. So now you have multiple sellers throughout the whole entire United States of America increasing the price of their properties, which again, creates inflation. I don't understand. The next one, she's going to give a tax credit up to $6,000 for families with a newborn. Now, I really don't understand that, because this means that you need to have a baby to benefit with this credit. Small lesson in taxation. Most of the individuals who basically qualify for credits most of the time are individuals who are at a lower middle income. That's just natural. Low income individuals, what happens is they end up having a zero tax liability because of all the other essential credits that are out there and all the other benefits that they receive by, like earned income, things of that nature. So if you are low income, you receive earned income, that means most likely you're already at a zero tax liability. So this benefit won't benefit you being the lower class. The middle class, yes, you may benefit from this. Do not get me wrong. This may be something that you could benefit from, but you need to have a baby. This means you have to take on a lifetime investment, having a child, in order to receive the $6,000 in credit. Don't get me wrong. It's good for the people who just happen, to be starting a family now, and maybe that'll benefit them. But if it's benefiting this, what about all of these? How's that going to help us? And the last thing she says, she's going to cap the cost of insulin to $35. Yes, it's $35 already. So I don't even understand how that's going to happen. But you know what? Don't take it from me. Listen to what she says. Here, you listen to it. Here we go.
I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gauging on food. My plan will include new penalties for opportunistic companies that exploit crises and break the rules.
Price gauging? I thought you proposed price gouging. Am I confused? She said price gauging, right? I know that's what she said. I heard it. She said price gauging. I think she meant price gouging. But let's see what else that she had to say. Listen here.
$25,000 to help with the down payment on a new home.
All right, again, $25,000 payments to help with the purchase of a new home. Again, we just talked about how that just doesn't work. All this does is contribute to inflation. Already, if you have not seen right now, look where we are in the world today with inflation. Right now, here in the United States, in January of 2021, we were at 1.4% of inflation. Look at this. Look at this change. From January 2021 to June of 2022, we're at now 9.1%. Now, think about it. That $25,000 that she's giving, what do you think that's going to do to the economy? On top of that, I don't know if you heard, she's pledging to build 3 million houses. 3 million. Where is she going to build 3 million houses at? What gives her, the government, the authority to go into one of the United States and tell them you must put a house here, 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 and here? It's not going to happen. Who's going to pay for this? On top of that, it takes, I've been in real estate. It takes you about 9 months to build a house from ground break to completion. That's if everything goes to plan. Weather is not a factor. Call-offs, not a factor. Permits, not a factor. Soil tests, not a factor. Everything is perfect 9 months. How can you build 3 million in 364 days? I don't understand. But some of the things that, they want you to believe, and I want to make sure you all keep aware that some of this stuff is impossible. The VP is proposing things that is literally ABC. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see what some of the news had to say about what she's proposing. Let's just look at this. Look at that right there. They're saying Harris supplies gimmicks. They're saying economically dumb, but politically smart. They're saying Harris' economic plan, don't fall for it. I don't know. It's getting just really trivial in this election right now. Let's listen to what some other people had to say.
We've seen it happen in Venezuela. We've seen it happen in the Soviet Union. Price controls just don't work. It expresses a level of economic illiteracy.
We've seen this kind of thing tried in lots of other countries before: Venezuela, Argentina, the Soviet Union, et cetera. It leads to shortages. It leads to black markets, plenty of uncertainty.
It sounded a lot like this notion that we were going to set price controls and that we were returning to the 1970s. You can't pay more than, let's say, $2.50 for milk. And if you do, we're going to charge the grocery store with some criminal act. And obviously, this hasn't worked. These sorts of policies in Venezuela or Soviet Russia.
All right. There you heard it. You heard it from the experts, right? They're saying this stuff has not worked in lots of different places. So why is she constantly proposing something to us as the United States citizens that she could have easily researched and saw that in several other countries they've tried this before and it just did not work? If it does not work in other countries, what makes you think it may work in America when it's already a lot of confusing components, attached to it, and the viability of it really working, slim to none. Let's see what else someone had to say about it.
Harris has completely reset this race. Look at our polling. Look at New York Times. Look at polling across the board. She is now in some polls leading Donald Trump in states like North Carolina. She has completely turned the tables and reset the narrative. And that's because she's running on hope and aspiration in the future.
All right, hold on. She said she's running on hope and aspiration for the future. Hope and aspiration will not help us right now in America. It's not going to fix inflation. It's not going to fix the economy. It's not going to fix the price of gas. It's not going to fix the price of food. It's not going to fix the price of heating that we're paying extra, or electric that we're paying extra for. It's not going to fix the problem of us being in wars. It's not going to fix, I can go on and on how we cannot run off of joy. Yes, joy feels good in the moment, but it's not going to result to feeling good when it's time to pay bills. We need something else. Let's see what else she has to say.
You may not like her policies, but she is going out there on the campaign trail being joyful, talking about what we can do as Americans together. And every time Donald Trump goes out there, he sounds bitter and angry and divisive confused. He's now the old candidate in the race, right? He didn't used to be, he now is. And so when you look at our numbers this morning, Kayleigh, independents, Kamala Harris is doing so well among independents. We know that group of voters is going to decide this election in many of the states that matter, like Pennsylvania. She has completely reset this race. This week will be very interesting. You know, my party has a lot of work to do to pull off a convention that was as well produced and sort of impactful as I think the Republican convention was. You and I talked about this at the time. But Kamala Harris is running a campaign for the future. And as long as Donald Trump continues focusing on the past and grievances and not trying to expand his voter bloc, I tell you, I talk to a lot more Kamala Harris insiders than J.D. Vance does, even though he said he did this morning. They feel incredibly good about where this race is, where it's heading. Voters go to the polls in mere weeks in some states, and Kamala Harris right now is giving the American people something they want, and that's optimism.
There's a lot there, but Tammy, the point about looking to the future is smart. Focusing on policy, looking to the future, I do think that's powerful. Joyful's clearly the buzzword, Tammy, but a lot of people don't feel joy at the grocery store right now. A lot of people don't feel joy when they go out into the housing market right now, and I know she's trying to distance herself from Joe Biden's policies, but will she be able to do that?
All right, I'm with her too. Joy is not going to pay our bills. But again, I just like to make these videos motivated up so you all can take the time to actually look, listen, and feel what someone is trying to give to you, what they're trying to hand to you. You know, they're trying to tell you it's sugar, but it's salt. They're trying to tell you it's gold, but it's nothing but a metal rock. But understand, people, it's time for us to start voting on policy, not people, not these gimmicks they try to get us to believe. I watched a little bit of the Democratic convention. Yes. And I did see the flair that they had, the individual singers that they had come out, and everybody was happy, and actors and actors. But again, that's not what I'm concerned with. You can stop all the song and dances. You can stop all of the clapping and yay and all the actresses and actors that's coming out by droves. Tell me, what are you going to do that I can get some money to help feed my family? Tell me, what are you going to do so that I can have money to pay my electric bill, which is sky high because it's a little warm here where I'm at, and we're running the air conditioner constantly. Tell me, what are you going to do to make sure that when I go to the gas pump, I don't need to take out a signature loan just to get gas inside my vehicle? This is getting ridiculous. People, please open your eyes and please look at the totality of the circumstances. Just because someone is talking does not necessarily mean that they're giving you something that you can hear. And with that, I'll talk to you the next time on our next episode of Motivation Look Up.